Clarity Stamp here in the UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. How are we all doing today? Good morning, Clive. Overcast but dry in Swindon. There we go. First in the room, watching via our YouTube page. I can see we've got some people tuning in now, so we'll just wait for a few more people to join the chat, and then we'll get in the groove. I shall waffle for a little bit. I'll have a quick slurp of coffee. There we go, perfect. So how's everybody this week? There we go, Mo, all good, thank you. Yes, I did enjoy the royal weekend. Coronation weekend, what a weekend it was, wasn't it? We had the coronation on Saturday here in the UK, and then there was the street parties and the concert on Sunday. Finally, yesterday it was sort of the helping out day, wasn't it? Good morning, everybody. There's the lovely Pat Hoskins, Sharon, Helen. Yeah, it's and then obviously Barb was on TV on Sunday as well from 3 till 5 with some fantastic new designs from the lovely Jazz. The Colour Me pattern design, says Jane, Nahid, good morning. Stuart is in the room. Thank you, Stuart. The sound is good. Yeah. That just threw me then, sorry. But it's early days for this morning. It's only just 10 o'clock. So hope everybody's well. Should we do our normal Tuesday groovy weather forecast? So this morning, it's quite muggy outside. It's quite mild and the sun's shining here in Kent. And I've just had a weather warning from the Met Office that there's thunderstorms due about 11 o'clock. So goodness knows whether that will happen or not. What's the weather like with everybody, where everybody else is? Jane's got a bad back, did I see? Jane, let me just flick back up. Suffering with a very bad back. Oh, sorry to hear that, Jane. Sunny in Ripon, North Yorkshire. Grey and dull with Jane. Good morning, Ken. You're in Cornwall, you're on holiday. Oh, very nice. And what's the weather like? Lovely brightening day in West Cornwall. Good morning, Carol P. From a cold and grey Norway. Oh no, I hope it's not too cold. Is it normal for this time of year to be cold in Norway? What sort of temperature have you got there, Ellen? See, this is lovely. We go international on Facebook and YouTube. It's overcast in Hillingdon, dull in Gloucester. See, this is great. Raining with Margaret. Oh dear. The weather is so unpredictable, isn't it? And sadly, I mean, the weather in London at the weekend for the coronation wasn't very nice, was it? But it didn't deter all the celebrations, which was nice. But yeah, so it's dull and grey in Cornwall with Pat, but it's brightening nice and bright where Ken is, wherever Ken is in Cornwall. Good morning, Lorraine. There we go. Morning all, grandson dropped at school, washing out, ready to watch. Now feeling smug. Nice chill day today. Yeah, I think most of the country had very nice sunshine on Sunday, didn't they? I know when we was driving back from the TV on Sunday afternoon, it was scorching. Had to open the car doors and let some of the heat out before we could start driving. Yeah, strange weather. And where are we now? We're May already. Goodness me, where has this year gone already? That's crazy. Yeah, May. Goodness. Okay, so it's quite warm in here as well. I should have took this jumper off, but I think I'll have to start wearing short sleeve t-shirts on my short sleeve shirts again. But you just can't predict the weather, can you? One of those things. Right, so over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at these lovely two designs. So this is a Jane Nesterenko rose with a lattice frame, a lovely sentiment top and bottom, and we've also got the lattice one, and this one is lovely. Well, they're both lovely, but this is great for infilling different areas, filling frames, just like the plates that Jazz designed, that Barbara launched on Sunday on Create and Craft. I've got them here actually. Let me just bring them into. There was 4 A6 plates. So we have the Happy Birthday. We've got the Thinking of You. Then we have the With Love. I'll zoom out a little bit in a moment. And then we have the Happy Christmas. So let me just zoom out so we can get a real nice shot of those. Let me see, which way am I going with the camera? I'm going this way. You think I'd know by now, wouldn't you? Wait, I still went wrong. Out is that way. There we go. Okay. So we have, I'll just move that up a little bit. These are lovely A6 plates. And they've all got different frames around the outside that Jazz has added to them. So the frames, I mean, this one would be great for practicing your white work in the little dots. But you can take the plates exactly as they come to create a beautiful piece of artwork, or you can just use the elements to infill frames, backgrounds, all different things. And then you have this lovely scripted writing as well. So, I mean, obviously you can turn it that way. You've got, see, Happy Birthday, Thinking of You, Happy Christmas, With Love. Really lovely designs, and so much versatility. If you're new to Groovi, which I know many of you tuning in are, this would be a great place to start to practice with your colouring, with your white work. Because the detail's so small, it's easier to achieve. So what's Ellen saying about her weather? Sorry, just in my part of Norway, it's a lot colder, 4 degrees than normal. And you've had 30 centimetres of snow 2 days ago. Oh, goodness me. Oh, well, I hope you're wrapping up warm and you're getting groovy. And I'm not even going to pronounce where Ken is in Cornwall, apart from it's between Padstow and Newquay. There we go. So yeah, so if you're new, who's new to Groovi Tuesday? Have we got any first timers in the room today, or just recently found us, the Groovi Tuesday or the Shack with Barb? Be lovely to give you a nice welcome. So yeah, so these are great designs if you're new, but even if you've been doing partying for many a year, these are lovely plates. And if you have a look at Barb's blog from Sunday, you'll see there's a full gallery of using not only the Groovi plates, but also the different stamps. So we've got the Happy Birthday stamps, we've got the Thinking of You, we've got the With Love, and then we've got the Happy Christmas. So maybe you're a stamper or maybe you're both. So yeah, these are just great for sort of like colouring in, whatever you're into. These are fantastic designs. Okay, so I know I digressed a little bit there, but I think these are great for infill, because we was talking about infills, wasn't we? Wasn't I? When it comes to creating frames, and these are the plates that we've been looking at over the past couple of weeks, and this is a great one for filling in as well. So so how have we got on so far? So what we've done, we just took the design exactly how it came, okay, and we traced out the square panel, and we did it in the number 1 tool and the number 2 tool. And then we added some white work to those dots. And then last week, what we did, we traced out using the various different tools. I can zoom back in now. Bear with me while I stand up and stretch again. There we go. And which way am I coming? I'm coming this way now. There we go. So we're looking at the back of the artwork. And what we did was, do you remember we traced out the lily of the valley using this was a number 1 tool, just to show the difference if you're new to it. And this was using the number 2 tool, if I remember rightly, on those ones. Then we traced the rose and the leaves out of the number 2 as well. And then we started to introduce a little bit of white work into those areas. Okay, and where I got this from was a piece of artwork that Linda Williams created, which was a craft along back in 2019, which you can find if you go to the Moment of Clarity section on our website. You can go back to 2019, and it was, let me just have a look on my notes. Oh, I know I've got it written down here somewhere. It was the 17th of September, 2021. Did I say, I've thrown myself in. Was I saying 2019 or 2021? It was 2021. I really struggle with that year. I keep wanting to call it 1921. I don't know. Oh dear. Welcome, Julia. You've purchased a starter kit and you're after some professional advice. Oh, well, good luck with that. No. Welcome to the Groovi party. There's loads of episodes that you can go back and watch. If you're brand new, we started off with the starter kit. When we first started Groovi Tuesday, we're going through all the different designs. If you're on Facebook, then you can always join up to our Groovi Worldwide page, and you can always ask questions in there, but you can obviously ask questions here today. And if I don't catch the question, then we've got some of the lovely design team in the room, and Stuart's there as well to help you. So as I've said in the past, no question is ever a silly question if you don't know the answer. So feel free to ask away. Okay, so and then if we turn this over and we look at the back, so this was done on some of our rainbow parchment. So if I put this on the black, well, let's put it on white so you can see the colour. See, but we're on the back here, but you can't really see if we turn it over. Now you can see the lovely line art. Okay. So what we've been doing is we traced out using the number 1, number 2 tool to get the different levels of brightness for our designs. Okay. And I thought what we'd do today is we'd add a little bit more white work to where we've already started to add that. And then we're going to have a look at some colour. Okay. So for today's session, what we're going to need is our piece of artwork we've been working on. We're going to need our number 1, 2, 3, and 4 Groovi tools from the starter kit. We're going to need our A4 black mat, and we're going to look at the soft side from the white work. We're then going to need our Groovi guard to protect our work whilst we work. And then when we come to do the colouring, we're going to be using our pergoliner pencils. But we'll get to those when we start to do the colouring. Okay. So I think we're all good to go, don't you? Is everyone ready? Everyone to chill out for the next 45 minutes or so? It's so nice when we see all the regular names popping up each week, and also when we have new people joining us as well. It's great to have everybody's company. And as we've said in the past, there's a full library of tutorials on the Clarity Stamp YouTube page, whether it be for Groovi, whether it be Groovi Tuesday, the Shack, the moments of clarity. Then back in the day, there used to be YouTube Tuesday that Barbara always used to do with the brayer, the jelly plate, inks, paints. So there's lots and lots. You could literally lose a whole week just going through all the different tutorials and videos on our YouTube page. So, and as I say, if you belong to Groovi Worldwide, you can always ask the question there, because the design team are always on hand to help out with any questions. Right, I think I've waffled enough. I shall have another slurp of coffee. It's not so hot. I don't think I boiled the kettle, but it's wet and it's warm, so it'll do. Right, should we get going then? So what we're going to do, we're going to work on the soft side of the black mat. We're working on the back of our parchment, and what we're going to do, we're going to go over and add some more white work to our lily of the valley and the shading on our leaves and rose. Okay, and for me, one of the key things is the Groovi guard, because one, it allows me to focus on the areas, and two, my hands are really warm in here, so it's helping me to protect the parchment, because the heat from your hands can cause the parchment to curl. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer, and then I'll readjust the artwork so we're central. I reckon that's close enough. Let's have a look. So we bring that into the center, and then if I bring my hands in, I just want to make sure it doesn't go out of focus. There we go. And I'm just going to wheel my chair in. Okay. So I'm going to use the number 3 tool from the starter kit. It's got a number 3 on it, which has a larger ball on the end. I'm going to put my glasses on. I tend to be using my glasses more for parchment these days. And then all I'm going to do is just gently stroke the parchment in a downward method. So I'm starting at the top and I'm just bringing it towards me. Now we can see instantly there's definitely a difference in the brightness of the white between this one and that one. Let me turn that over for you so you can see it from the front. There we go. You can definitely see. And that's because this one has been resting, this piece of artwork, for a week. Okay. So let's turn it back over. And you'll notice there's a little black dot there. So I'm just going to try and fill that in. There we go. Now, some people prefer to stroke towards them. Some people prefer to stroke away from them. What way do you do white work? Do you go away or towards? Come on, let's have a little survey. Away or towards? Okay, so on this one, I'm coming towards, just like so. There we go. Now these little lily of the valley, these have been done, the outline's been traced with the number 1 tool. Okay. Okay, so we've got both, towards, see? And I bet we all get the same result, don't we? It's what we feel more comfortable doing. So just going to do this one. And then gently does it. Okay. Now, and also, I don't know if you'll find this yourself, is that because I've traced out with the number 1 tool in these areas, as I get closer to that line, I can feel a little bit more weakness in the parchment. Okay, so you just need to be a little bit more careful if you're going to go with the number 1 tool and you're doing the white work like so. Okay, so let's move over to this area here. Now, these ones have been traced out with the number 2 tool. We see the difference between the outlines on the 2 different lilies of the valleys. So we're just going to come down like so. There we go. And the same on these ones. And then we're just going to continue to add our white work. It's interesting, isn't it, seeing people's responses. I just seeing Ken's response. Whichever technique you use, it will be all white on the night. Very good, Ken. I like that one. Oh dear. That's just what a lovely smile on my face. Thank you, Ken. Well, I wasn't smiling beforehand, but okay. So let's turn these ones over now, and let's have a look at the difference. So these ones here have the traced out to number 1. These ones have been traced out to number 2. Okay. So let's move down to the bottom section. Okay, so now this time what I'm going to go from away from me. So I'm going to go from the bottom and go upwards on these ones, just to see whether I get a different result. Yeah, I think it, as many of you have said, it depends what you're doing, what your white work in, whether you go forwards, backwards, or use both. But for me, on these little areas, see, I definitely prefer coming towards me. I think I've got a little bit more control on these particular little flowers. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So let's turn this over and let's have a look at where we are at the moment. Okay, there we go. Let's move that over. Not so bad. These ones are definitely better, believe it or not. Well, I think they're better than these ones. But it's not over yet. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go in and whiten up these areas here on the rose petals. So working from the back again, Groovi Guard. And this time I'm going to go away. So I'm going to go back over. Yeah, and I'm still using the number 3 tool. Okay. So on this particular part of the design, I think I've got more control going away from myself. Okay. So then I'm going to turn my work like so. And I'm pushing away again. I don't want to go right into the middle. And I'm just gently curving around on this one. Now, when I'm saying I'm sort of stroking away, if you're new to white work, basically, if my finger here is the parchment, what I'm doing, see this line in my finger, okay? I'm starting with the line of the design, and then I'm pushing, and then as I push away, I'm lifting away, whether it be like a sort of striking a match or an aeroplane taking off, okay? And what that does, it concentrates the white area here, and then it gives you that softer feathered look as you get towards the middle, which is what I'm after. And that's what Barb was doing on Sunday on TV in the colouring shows. It was, do you remember, it was half, no, it was 3/4, half, and then a quarter with the 3 different shades of colour. So we're going to go around now. So let's turn this over and see what we've got. So we can definitely see now these are a lot whiter than the ones that we've only put one coat on. Okay. Excuse me. So let's finish off our rose petals. In the middle, yeah. So we're going to do these ones first, like so. And you know what? I'm actually going to, let's try these ones. No. See, I've definitely got, on these ones, I've definitely got more control going away from me. Isn't that funny? But I think, as many of you said, it all depends on the area in which you're working. Okay, so let's move down to the final petal on the rose. And just put some whiteness there. And I'm going to turn it around. And put some whiteness there. Okay. And also, I think it was last week, or it might have been the week before, I'm sure Jane will remind me, about sometimes putting a base coat down. If you're new to white work, putting a base coat down first, like an undercoat, and then if you wanted to, you could put the white pencil over the top. Okay, so now I've gone to the number 4 tool, which is a slightly bigger ball tool, and we're just going to go back over where we've added some shading to the edge of the leaves. Okay, not too much, just a little bit. So turn it around. Bring your work to you. Don't sort of try and turn your hand and get all twisted and uncomfortable. Okay. There we go. So that's that one. So let's go back and have a look at this leaf here. But I think when you look at something like this, I think it's really nice that something so small but so indelicate, it's a great way for practicing the various different skills. And as I've said previously, if you're brand new to Groovi, you don't even have to be going on this part of the bus journey, because just by tracing out the line art, you automatically get a beautiful piece of artwork. Okay, so can we see the difference? Yeah, we can definitely see the difference, can't we? Where we've added some additional layers compared to these two over here. Okay, so let's just put a little bit around the edges here, and I'm just pressing very, very gently, not going on too heavy. And it's if you go, when you're doing the white work, if you find that when you're doing it you don't think that you're getting anything, you'll be surprised at how the parchment is stretching. And definitely, I mean, I know I've left it a week because obviously we're only here on a weekly basis, but it definitely does make a difference by letting the parchment relax for a period of time. Okay, right, so I reckon that's all the white work I want to do. Okay, let's have a look from the front, shall we? Does yours look anything like that? I'm sure it does. There we go. I'm in really close, and I mean, it's not great, but it's not ungreat, if that sort of makes sense. Because what we're going to do now is look at introducing some colour. And I just want to show you a few things with sort of like the blending of those colours. So in order to do that, we need to work on the hard side of our mat. Okay. And what I want to do first is, this is my practice piece of parchment. Remember, we've been trying all the different bits on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace out part of the rose. Okay, and I'm going to do it twice. So let me just take a Groovi tab, like so. I'm just going to give it a wipe with my tumble dry sheet. And it doesn't take long to trace out, okay? So if I trace out just the rose itself, okay, add in all that. And I'm just doing this for ease with the number 1 tool. But sometimes if you're unsure of colour, you may want to sort of practice first and see what you come up with. But if you don't have time to practice, then the beauty of using the pergolina pencils is that if you don't like what you've done or you've made a mistake, then you can rub it all out. Okay, so let's just do, so I'm just going to do 1 rose. I know I said I was going to do 2. I'm just going to do 1 because I can do exactly that. I can show you and then I can rub it out, can't I? Okay. I've just seen Ken. Ken sort of keeps losing the signal where he is. So, right, I reckon that's all we need. Let's just put the stalks in so it just looks a bit more like a rose. Okay. Right. So here we have my rose head. This could be any flower you choose. So I'm going to go for the pergolina bee pencils. Okay. And I've got mine in my bag. So I tell you what, let me take all of them out and it would be so much more easier. So when it comes to the pergolina bee pencils, let me zoom out a little bit now. Whee. Let's go that way. Okay. So when it comes to the bee pencils, all of the bee pencils have got white writing on them and they say B in front of the numbers. Okay. And you've got 16 lovely colours in the bee pencils. Okay. And what's great, they're a wax-based pencil, so they are they're a wax-based pencil, so they're like the polychromos. But these are a great way to introducing colour not only on parchment, but general colouring in as well. Okay. And you can blend the colours, and you can blend the colours really easily. Okay. When I first started using parchment craft, wasn't aware of the pergolinas, wasn't aware of the perga colours, and we used to use the Tim Holtz distress markers. They're a water-based pen, or the polychromos, Faber-Castell polychromos. And I automatically thought that when I was colouring in, I had to go on heavy and I had to go on solid to get the brightness of the colour to come through the parchment. Okay, but you don't. Because as I've learned over the years by watching Barbara, Linda Williams, Josie, Glynis, Jane, all the other fantastic design team, is that you pick up little bits and pieces and different ways of doing it. And then when you look at it, you think, wow, okay, let's give it a go. So this is what we're going to do with the rose here. Okay, now you'll notice that there's no pink within the bee pencils, but we do have a lovely red and we also have a white. So red and white make pink. Okay, so if I take those 2 pencils and let me see, I also like taking, I mean, there's a lovely orange here, but I like a darker, richer orange. So in order to get a darker, richer orange, then I'm going to use the red and the yellow. Okay, so let's just pop those to one side. So we're going to need a couple of pencils, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things. Then we are also going to need, I'm going to use my mix mat. I'm going to use some Dorso oil, Okay, like so. I need a spot-on sponge, and I also need some blending nibs. Okay, which I happen to have just here. Now the blending pens are imminent. Okay, Mr. Dave's work, that's his baby, and he's working on that at the moment. So they're very, very soon. Okay. See, here's some colour I've got on my blending mat previously. Now I've got it on my oil mat, so I'm guessing these are the oil-based pencils. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's pop our work to one side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, I always say a tiny drop, but it always comes out quicker than what it should. Right, okay, it's not too bad. Okay, so a tiny drop on there. Let's play it safe and scribble out some red over here. Okay, like so. And then some white over here. So I've got choices. I can use my mix mat to create my pink first, or let me put that to one side for a moment, or I can go with white. Now what I'm doing is I'm very lightly scribbling the white pencil. Okay, if I hold this up, you can see it's just like scribbled. The difference between scribbling lightly and going on heavy is the brightness in the colour. Okay, so if I take, I'm going to put a little bit of Dorso oil on my sponge. I want to show you the two different ways that you can do this. Okay, right, let's take a clean nib. So let's do a piece on the parchment first. Okay, too much Dorso oil on the nib will take the colour off completely, just like the eraser pencil. So it's a quick little dab and then just blot it on the sponge. Now if I go on here, I don't know whether you can see there's a lot of oil already on there. So let's see what happens. If I now put my glasses back on, oh dear. So if I now start to work in a circular motion, what we're doing now is we're blending. See how we're taking the graininess of the scribble and we're softening down the white. Okay, just like so. There we go. So what I have now is like an undercoat of whiteness. If I take a tiny little bit of red, like so, just scribbled on, and I reckon I need to pick up a little bit more oil. And I start now to I'm just working in circular motions, like so. There we go. So I now have, let me put a white piece of paper underneath. So I've now got, it's not red, but it's still not pink. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on working that. Let me show you, just in comparison, the red on its own. So you can see that there's definitely a difference. Okay, so red, pink. Now if I want to make that more pink, then what I can do is go back on very lightly with the white. Okay, I'm going to take a clean nib because I've just used it on the red. Okay. And then this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to try dry blending. So I haven't put any oil on the nib at all. But I think I need a tiny little bit just to help it move. There we go. So now we can start to lighten up the red. But it's definitely better, I find, by putting the white down first if you're going direct onto the parchment, and then blending that first and then introducing a tiny bit of red. Now let's have a look what happens if I bring in my blending mat, pick up a little bit of the red from here, a little bit of the oil, and mix it in with the white. A little bit more. So now let's pop that underneath. It's a very, very soft pink. Okay. I can pick up some more red and darken it if I wanted to. Okay. And now what I can do is I can now go in and colour with what I've mixed up on the mix mat. What's Jane say? Jane said you can get a really nice pink using the white pencil and the B14. Is the B14 like that burgundy colour? Let's have a look. Where's my B14? Using B11. Come on, number 14. Where are you? 10. Ah, B14. Ah, right. So it's a lilac, purpley colour. Okay. Should we give that a go then? So let's go on here. Okay, no. What are we doing? So let's go in this one. So we're going to put the white down first. Another clean nib. Let's see what this gives us. A little bit of torso. Blend in the white. Like so. Need a little bit more white. There's too much oil on there. You can see, I mean, I've got some whiteness down. Okay. So there we go. Just blend that down. You can definitely see there's white there. Can't? Yeah, you can. Okay. And then a tiny little bit of purple. Maybe too much. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. So you get a lovely cerise pink. Oh, I like that. See, and you can add it as well. So you can build up the depth of colour. Oh, that's a very nice pink. It's a brighter pink, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you for that, Jane. I like that. That's really nice. Purple and yeah, that makes sense really, doesn't it? Now there is a lovely burgundy colour, the B13. Should we give that one a go? Okay, so let's do a little bit of white. So I'm not pressing hard with the pencil. I'm just pressing very gently, because if you press too hard with the B pencils, it creates like a seal, and it makes it harder then to try and blend the colours together. So it definitely need a bit more white on there. Okay. See, it's amazing what a little bit of, I say a little bit of white, by using the white, what you can do with the other colours. Okay. So let's try a little bit of this burgundy colour. Maybe a bit too much. Let's have a go. A little bit more royal. Oh, this gives a nice colour as well. So maybe you want to experiment with the colours that you've got and see what colours you can come up with. I mean, obviously white will always lighten your colours. I just read that. Of course Jane knows her pinks, definitely. Okay. How are we doing? Wow, 1:45 already. Okay, so let's pop that onto there. So yeah, so it's a little bit more of a richer pink, isn't it? Sort of richer is the right word. So this is using the red. That's using the burgundy, which is the B13. And this one's using the B14. Let me lift it up a little. It's easier for me to quickly lift rather than... Okay. So if I turn that over now, I know it's on white, but it's just to give you that idea. I wonder if I put a bit of colour paper underneath. Yeah, you can definitely see the different shades, can't you, on there? Okay. As we were talking about earlier, if you decide when you're practicing or if you go directly onto your work, see, I think I'm going to go with the burgundy and the white, okay, for my rose. So when you look at this, if you think, right, okay, well, I've made a mistake, I don't like it, or I've gone on too dark or I've gone on too heavy, then this is where the double-ended erasers come into play. So say, for example, you've gone on slightly too heavy in one of the areas. Using the pink eraser, very lightly, we'll just sort of take it back a little bit. Okay. But if you decide, no, definitely don't like it at all, then the white end will take it away completely. Okay. And then I just need a brush just to get rid of the dust because I don't want to blow. So now we've taken that back to clear parchment. So for me, if you're learning the colouring technique, this is where the pencils are key, because if you make a mistake, you can rub it out. Okay. So let me just get rid of that little bit down there, because what I also want to show you is how to make a lovely, my favourite, there's a piece of artwork here. Where is it? Well, there's a couple of pieces. But you see how you've got that lovely orange and the red and the darkness on there. And it's very easy to do. Okay. So instead of putting the white down as your base colour, what we're going to do is we're going to put the yellow down. So it's the same principle, light scribbles, clean nib, a little bit of dorsal oil, blend the yellow in. Okay, so a little bit too much oil. Okay, but you can see you've got that lovely bright yellow. Okay, just like so. And then what I'm going to do, it's tiny little bits of red, because the red is the more dominant colour. So I'm just going to put some little flicks of red just at the base, and then I'm just going to put like a very faint line just underneath the top. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, you know how we was doing the white work where I'm flicking away? So I'm just flicking away from the bottom. Okay. And then from the top, I'm just going to gently feather that colour out. Gently does it. I'm not applying any pressure on the parchment. Okay, look, I'm going to go over the edge here because I can tidy it up slightly, and then I'm just going to gently work my way down, and then on this one I'm going to work my way up. Okay, and now I'm going to go over the whole area. So I've broken down the dominant colour first. I'm going to take my eraser, wherever that's gone, and just clear up that edge where I've overlapped. Now if I turn that over, you can start to see now how I've got a lovely blend of colour. Can you see that okay? If I bring it up a little bit closer. So there's no sort of real harsh lines of where I've sort of brought the two colours together. It's giving it that natural, soft look to it. If I pop a piece of coloured parchment under paper underneath, you can see that, can't you? So then working on the back still, I'm still going to carry on just gently breaking that down. And if you find that it is too red, then you can either use the pink part of the eraser to take some off. See, that's what I would do. Rather than risk it with more Dorso oil to lift it, I would definitely use the pink eraser. Okay, so now when we turn it over, we can start to see how we're starting to get that colour. And then to really sort of make it jump, this is the only time that I would really go on the front of the parchment. Okay, and for that, what we need is a really, really sharp pencil. So let's just have a look. So I've got the red. Okay, I've sharpened it to a point using my Faber-Castell. And then glasses on. And then just very gentle in between the white lines, just like we do with the white work. Just some little flicks just to intensify it. Now where's that pink rubber? And then if you think, oh no, just gently sort of take it back. Okay. And maybe we'll do the same with the yellow. On the front as well, just to soften up that harshness of the red, or the brightness of the red. Okay, there we go. So you can see the difference now, how we've sort of added some colour both on the front and the back. Now I think for my rose that I'm going to colour in, which we're going to colour in next week, is I'm going to go with that lovely burgundy colour, which is B13, together with the B1. Okay. And we'll see what it looks like. I may next week decide that as I start to do it, that I like it, but then as I start to complete my rose, I might think, oh, you know what, it's a little bit too dark. I can get rid of it again. Okay. So, can't believe where the time has gone today. That coffee is definitely cold now. Ooh, okay. So what else have I got to tell you? What's going on this? Oh, that was really cold. I shouldn't have drunk that. Okay. So I had a look at the designs from Jazz, didn't we, that Barb had on TV on Sunday. And so those were those. Tina is on TV on Thursday on the Pergamano show at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And she's got some fantastic pieces of artwork that she's going to showcase over the 2 hours. Existing designs that she'll be showcasing. So, you know, we've got the flat kiss flowers from Tina. She's going to be doing the Groovi versions by Tina. So we've got those on TV on Thursday. We've still got spaces available for our open days. It's a month away, Friday the 9th or Saturday the 10th of June. So tickets are available on our website. Then what else have we got? We've got Barb's blog, we've got the Clarity Matters blog, and also we currently have our coronation event on the website. So if you place an order between, it was from Friday of last week up until midnight tonight, all orders placed during that period will go into a royally golden draw, where the winner will be chosen at random to win a £100 Clarity gift voucher. So it doesn't matter how many times you purchase, what the value of the order is, they'll all go in for a lucky draw, with the opportunity to win a £100 Clarity gift voucher. If you're a club member and you sign into your account and your basket comes to £30 or more after your club discount, you'll automatically get a 23% discount. 2023 being the year, 23% discount. However, there's a few items that are not included in the event, like club membership, gift vouchers, tickets for retreats and open days, and also stuff that's recently been released on TV. So there's new stuff that that Barbara had on TV on Sunday, and from the week before, those lovely easy layout stencils. They aren't included, but as you go through the checkout, it will sort of tell you once your basket gets to that point. And if you've got any questions or you're not sure, then you can always give Janine or Sue in the office a call on the main number if you're unsure. And Barb is, as far as I know, I think Barb is back in the shack on Monday, but just keep an eye on your emails over the next coming days for confirmation of that. Otherwise, Dina's on TV on Thursday. I'll be back with you on Tuesday. And I think the conversation we had when we were driving back from TV is that the shack will be back on Monday, but I'll double check that with Barb when I speak to her later. So thank you once again. I hope you've learned something. I know for me, trying to sort of cram in as much information as possible, but you know what? We can carry on, can't we? I haven't got guests, I haven't got time limits. We can go on as long as possible with this, really. But I know you've all got lots of things to be getting on with. So thank you for joining me once again. Welcome, as always, to the lovely newbies. I hope you come back. Hope you've learned something. But don't forget, we've got the Clarity and Groovi Worldwide Facebook pages. Design team are always in there to answer any questions. Yeah, so we shall see. What will we see? I don't know what we'll see. We'll see Tina on TV on Thursday. Thank you for the design team in the room and for Stuart for your help. And I'll see you next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.